but we have Rebecca Austin here, who's a good friend of mine, and we've really focused with Rebecca on new. She specializes in this stuff. I got to give you the proper introduction. I've been friends with Rebecca for years. It's pretty cool to have you on here.
Well, thank you. Here we are.
Yeah, so we've been doing the radio thing for a while.
We've been together for a while on the radio.
Yeah, we just, my show is on 11:70 a.m. at 6 p.m. On Fridays, the second hour at 7 o'clock, you're going to be discussing what's happening that's new on the weekend, new builder projects, but not just that. Some of the cool things that are happening in the actual homes, the security, the sound systems, the landscaping. So it's exciting, and it's unique to this show, and it's good to have you in here. And you have a face for TV. We got to get you off radio.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Oh, thank you.
You look great. So talk to me. What do we got with the new stuff?
So I kind of feel like we've been in a bit of a real estate hibernation, really, for the last 5 or 6 years. And, we're sort of waking up from this now. We're realizing that perhaps now is the time to look at either fixing up our current home and making it new, or moving up to what I call our forever home, our dream home.
Yep.
And so everyone's interested in what's new in real estate right now. What are new builders, home builders, putting in their homes to make our homes more efficient and perhaps answer to our lifestyle today? What are things that we can do in our current home that can make it feel newer and fresher for today? So that's what we want to focus on. What's new? If it's new, we're going to talk about it on the show with me and also on the radio. Yeah,
and when you're thinking about a new home, it's not like a car where you never buy a new car because as soon as you drive it off the lot, you just lost half the value. The new home is a whole different ball game. See, right now you have a lot of investors that are coming in, and we want to help investors as well. My heart goes out to the first-time home buyer, the VA, the person who's served our military, which we thank you for all of your service, especially here in San Diego. I know we're very strong with the military. But when you think about an investor coming in, their job is to flip it up the property, make a profit, and ultimately that can lead to stuff on the inside that's not necessarily that fancy, that nice, that good of a home necessarily. When you're talking about new, it's all this new stuff. What's new in these homes? And right now we're looking at interest rates. That's a shot of the bond market, which can help you buy a new home. For example here, where you see bond prices dropping, a lot of mortgage rates have climbed recently from ARMs to fixed rate products. When you see bond prices drop, that means mortgage rates are moving up. So we've seen them kind of fall off a cliff. So let's really demonstrate what you can buy, how you can afford it. What are some of the communities out there? And then I'll get into some of the numbers that people might be able to buy into.
One of the hottest selling communities in the county is in the Poway School District area, specifically the Forest Ranch area, which is just off Highway 15 near the Rancho Bernardo area. And there's many reasons why this is a very hot selling community. One is that there's a diversity of price range. Kurt was mentioning in the last segment. You can buy your first home in that area and then move up through to your dream home through the years. The second reason is Poway School District is an incredible school district, great parent involvement in the schools, really high ratings. And beyond that, there's some really major large employers in the area, Sony, HP, Northrop Grumman. So parents can actually come home for lunch to their kids, and that's a big deal. And so Forest Ranch has become a very, very hot community. We're seeing some images of the area now. Beautiful, beautiful community. It was originally owned by the Ralph's family, the grocery store Ralph's family. It was their family's ranch. And when they decided to work with Newland Communities to actually build this community out, they had a really hands-on approach. They wanted to make sure that it felt like a small town. So that, for instance, they have movies in the park. Actually, tonight I'll be there watching the movies in the soccer field. They put the big screen out, and your kids can come down and have popcorn.
I thought they only do that where I'm from.
No,
they do that here in
there
San Diego too.
You can actually see kids walking down the street with a
Don't they know
fishing
there's
pole to go
beaches
fishing.
here?
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you really don't need to leave that community. They have the Forest Commons there, where you have all of your shopping, and obviously the best Ralph's grocery store.
Do you remember when you were talking to me about Forest Ranch? And keep in mind, I'm more in the downtown, Mission Valley kind of area. And keep in mind, I've been in San Diego since 2003. You remember when I used to think it was Forest Ranch?
Yes. I mean, a lot of people think it's Forest Ranch.
When did I finally get that right? Wasn't that this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About an hour ago.
This is why I bring in experts. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. And when we talk about these local areas, now this is a little bit more north, and you're covering areas like Poway and Rancho Bernardo and Rancho Petasquitos and all those areas as well. One of the things I think is really important, and I'm glad you're here with me to discuss, because we do this on the radio show quite a bit, is the numbers. You know, you hear things in the media that now is a good time to buy real estate. Of course, if you listen to the cynicism, now it's not. Now there's a real estate bubble. And how do you sort this stuff out? Right. You do it with numbers. You know, numbers tell a good story. And so we did a rent versus own spreadsheet. Now this is if you are actually buying a house here in San Diego, and I think it's intriguing when you compare what someone could pay in rent right now to actual home ownership. I mean, you have a $400,000 loan right now. If you put 5% down, now you can get away with 5% down on conventional financing. You can do FHA financing at 3.5% down. If you're a brave soldier, you've served our country, you can do 100% financing. What you're going to see on the screen here is that we're comparing a $2,700 a month rent payment. Now think about that. $2,700. That's, you know, you see that's pretty average, right? Depends on where you are. That's a fair market value. On a $400,000 purchase price with 5% down, with an estimated rate at a 4.75. I hate quoting rates because I know I'm going to get the disclaimer police to come chase me down. Rates move. Don't quote me on them. But in that general vicinity, if you look at the payment, it equals $2,700. But then look at that second category, the tax benefits and the principal being paid down. You get tax benefits for the interest write-off on your mortgage. You pay down principal every time you make a payment. So when you're making a rental payment, you're paying your landlord's mortgage. When you buy a house, you're paying down your own loan balance. And so if the property's going up, we don't have to use numbers like 20%. If the house is going up 3, 4, 5% a year, which is very realistic, what you get out of it, the equity you can grow. I mean, in this example, the second column, we see that the net payment is $1,646. So you can control a $400,000 asset for 5% down. Now 5%, let's look at the numbers here. So $20,000. Find me a stock that you can put 20 grand in and be able to accomplish this type of equity on a lower payment than you're paying in rent. If we flip over to the equity numbers, over a 5-year period at a 4% appreciation rate, you could expect $138,000 in equity. Now I know some of these numbers are arbitrary. Again, I'm going to say that a lot. But find me a stock that can do that for you with 20 grand. Find me a stock that you can live in. Find me a house that can go down to $0, because I've been a part of a stock that's done that before.
I heard that story.
Do you want me to tell it? How much time do we have?
It's a good story.
So I'm not going to tell the story of First Marblehead. But the point is, and we can go down these columns as well. I mean, a 10% down on a $450,000. Let's go all the way to the right. A $600,000 purchase right now in San Diego, 10% down, that's 60 grand, which might sound like a lot of money. It might not. Depends on what kind of situation you're in. A lot of times these funds can be gifted, so all you parents out there maybe think about doing this for your kids. The net payment, when we're using the same equation on a $600,000 purchase with 10% down, is $2,442.
That's
back to
crazy.
the original rent for $2,700.
Well, and keep in mind that $600,000 house was the $1 million house a few years ago.
Good point.
You know, and rates were 6.5% then as well, and so the payment was more in the high 3,000s.
Yep,
for that
and
same
we're
home.
talking about fixed rates. So you're not going to have to worry in a few years from now, do you have a pay option arm or an adjustable rate mortgage or any of the nonsense that was a part of the lending environment at the time the housing market took off. So when I hear these things like housing bubble, no, a housing bubble occurs when a pizza boy can get a job as a loan officer and tell another pizza boy he can claim 10 grand as income and buy $1 million house. That's a housing bubble. Right now we have, we have a marketplace where lending is tighter, so you have to get qualified, and then you have to find the right home. Rebecca helps you find the right home. She's doing a great job with that. She's navigating these different markets, and I do want to touch up on how you could make these numbers work for a new building project, whether it's Forest Ranch or some of these other things that you're representing right now. How do you take this $2,400 plus or minus payment and you find that $600,000 house? What are people getting for $600,000 today?
San Diego is a diverse county, so there are lots of opportunities in the 600,000 price range. As a matter of fact, you can still find condos in San Diego under $100,000 if you're looking for your first home, or maybe you're looking for an investment, a cash flow property. Those types of homes are available today in San Diego, but for a $600,000 house, you can easily get a 4 or 5 bedroom, 2,000, 3,000 square foot home in the North County, many parts of San Diego. And you know what, I remember renting. I'm sure you remember buying your first home. We get comfortable.
I do. It didn't turn out very well.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Well, my story actually turned out well. That's why I brought it up.
Oh.
But I do remember the feeling that you have when you move into your first home, and you remember, and the feeling that you get of just knowing that you own the home. And
Yeah.
I think that that's an experience that you don't know until you experience it. I think a lot of people that are renting are not just renting apartments. There are people that have been renting homes for years and they're very comfortable. And so I think it's all about a plan and a strategy, and making a plan for the future and making sure you can comfortably afford the payment. All really important.
Well, on this show, as promised, I'm featuring San Diego's real estate elite and all of our different experts that we're going to be bringing on every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 1 p.m. They're going to be niche for a reason. If you want to learn more about Rebecca, and she's someone that you think you might want to work with and learn more about, she has her website here, which is what'snewathome.com. She really is a great friend of mine, has been for many years. I would work with you if I was buying a house, and I appreciate you coming in. Welcome to the world of TV and Get Out Radio.
Thank
We're
you.
going to be back, and we're going to answer some of your emails in just a moment.